Hi, so today I want to talk a little bit about consumers socialization and how children learn to be consumers. Well, first of all, I want to ask, how did you learn about the brands that you use? If most of us are honest, we'll admit that some of the products or brands that we use, we adopt or buy those brands because those are the same brands that our parents use. Like, so I buy Hellman's mayonnaise, and that was because my mom always bought Hellman mayonnaise. Or perhaps you use Tide um, laundry detergent because your parents use Tide, right? And so when we talk about consumer socialization, we're basically referring to how young people learn about products, how they learn about brands, right? So it's the author defines consumer socialization is by the process by which young people acquire skills, knowledge, and attitudes relative to their functioning in the marketplace, right? So what are some other ways that we learn about products or brands? We may learn through our friends. Now that we're older, or as you age and you're in college, you may learn about products and brands through your teammates, through friends, etc. But at a young age, primarily our parents and our family members are our primary source of information. So we can also think about the whole idea of observational learning, right? Or modeling. So in many instances, children model what they see. So children model the behavior exhibited by their parents with respect to certain brands and certain products. So the author talks about by the time children are age 2, they are already asking or requesting certain products or asking for certain goods or services, right? And so it's one of the reasons why brands like McDonald's have faced a tremendous amount of backlash because critics charge that McDonald's has basically, or in the past, has brainwashed children via the toys and different things that are included in the Happy Meals, right? We also know Happy Meals were actually banned in California because legislators felt that Happy Meals were in some way, shape, or form, influencing children in a negative manner, right? And so we know that there's been a significant amount of attention paid to the use of characters, movie characters, on various products. We know we have like Scooby-Doo fruit snacks, etc. And critics charge that manufacturers, advertisers, etc., use these characters to influence or to persuade and to manipulate children. So this kind of brings us to the conversation of, our children, do we consider children to be a vulnerable population? And if so, who should be responsible for protecting children from marketers and or advertisers? Who do you think? Who should be responsible? Well, that's one of the questions that I pose in our discussion board questions for this week. And so I'm interested to hear your responses. But as we move along and think about this idea of children as consumers and children being socialized, the author points out that, again, children are socialized by the age of 2, and about age 5, kids make decisions with the help of, or make purchases with the help of their parents or grandparents. And he also points out by the age 8, kids are purchasing things on their own, right? Which I think is really interesting to consider. How much power should kids have, and when does socialization actually occur? And this is just trivial, but I was in church on Sunday and I saw someone actually have a screen, like a tablet, and they had an infant under 1, and they set the baby up and set the tablet up, and the infant watched cartoons or whatever during the service. And it just made me think, wow, screen time and little ones, when is it healthy for that actually to begin? Because once we know that consumers are exposed, or once children are exposed to screens and content, then marketing actually begins, correct? So a couple quick points that I want to mention is this idea of different types of parents. So the author points out different parenting styles. He talks about authoritarian parents who are hostile, restrictive, emotionally uninvolved. They don't have warm relationships with their children. They censor the type of media that their children are exposed to. And they have very negative views about advertising. The other type of parent that the author points out is the neglecting parent. And so with the neglecting parent, these parents are very detached from their children. They don't exercise much control over what their children do. The last type is the indulgent parents. And these parents communicate with their children about consumption-related activities, and they're less restrictive. They believe their children should be allowed to learn about the marketplace, without much interference, right? So it actually sounds, even though we may have there's a negative connotation associated with indulgent parents, it actually sounds like out of the three groups that these parents are the most healthy with respect to facilitating proper perspective of the marketplace. And so as you watch the segment on children and marketing today, I'm interested to hear what you think with respect to who should be responsible for protecting our children, et cetera, for marketers. Should it be the parents? Should it be government? Should it be advertisers and or the brands? And how much freedom should children have with respect to learning about brands and products that exist, right? How young should children be exposed to marketing messages? And our big brands like Nike, like McDonald's, etc. Should they hold back, or should they be more cautious or more conscientious when advertising to children, or should parents be more restrictive? All righty. So I look forward to hearing what your thoughts on this issue. Take care.